money ritual, like I always tell people, if all this African voodoo was real, our ancestors wouldn't have to suffer over 400 years of slavery when they could just do some magic and free themselves. Or just because no matter their offense, their God should have been able to come to their aid. 400 years is not 4 years. Even 4 years is too much. Even 4 months is too much to be captive, seeing what they went through. So,
Lulu, but
uh,
let's be honest with ourselves. We're hearing about decapitated body, people being kidnapped, and stories and everything. Do you mean that these things are not real? What is it behind this?
okay. Well, what I think is, if you understand how there's this topic I'm just so passionate about, and I've been doing research on it too. If you I don't know if you know anything about psychopaths. I don't know if you've ever had. These are people
What is
born
the what?
natural
What is the what? What do you call the what?
psychopaths. Like when you just say someone is a
Yes,
psychopath.
yes, yes, of
Yes, they
course.
are
You
deeper.
make me
They are
think of Ted
deeper.
Bundy. Of Ted Bundy.
Oh, okay. They are deeper. There's just the things deeper to it than we know. So
Okay.
these people are naturally born without the thing in the brain that processes empathy. So they do their killings in ritualistic ways. Yes,
Okay.
because they
Okay.
take their time. If they have to kill, they take their time, do it as a form of ritual and kill. So I believe in all these countries like Nigeria, where people can get away with anything, we have
Mm,
psychopaths roaming about, killing people, cutting off their body parts and whatever, and dumping them. And also, there's also people who sell human parts, like the people who need them for medical reasons, like the heart, the kidney, and all of that. So maybe all
okay.
these people that people think they use them for rituals, someone must have
Mm,
kidnapped them, taken the important body parts away, and sold them to maybe some doctors in India or somewhere and cashed out like millions. And
okay.
then you just assume that a god gave them that money, not knowing that it was
Not
as a
knowing that
result of
they were trafficking
selling
human
those,
organs.
thinking that some god, maybe some sacrifice or whatever, made some god give them the money after killing the person, not knowing that they sold these parts for millions and are now balling. So it's
Hmm.
common when we don't understand these things to just assume that they did some blood sacrifice to some god somewhere, because all of those things do not work.
So
Ritualistic killing
what do
is
you
either the
think?
person is just a
What do you say
psychopath
to
to,
what do you say to Christians who think that atheists believe in Satan? That the moment you reject Jesus Christ, you leave religion, you are now
well,
an
I would
agent
just
of
say
Satan.
they should educate themselves, because they are the ones who believe in Satan. I do not believe in Satan. Satan does not exist. He is as imaginary as their God. So they are the ones who believe in Satan. They cannot force Satan on me. Satan also does not exist. So I know people who are Satanists. There's this guy on my
Hmm.
Instagram. He's constantly sending me Satanist posts. But then most of his posts make sense, because like the Bible has always portrayed this Satan to be a liar, to be a bad guy. But if you ask a Christian today to show you where the devil has actually done anything evil or bad on his own, they will not be
Yes.
able to do that.
Hey,
Like they keep
hey,
telling you that the devil is
this
a
is the
good.
real bad boast now we're talking about. Show us any
Exactly. They
evidence where
keep
the
telling
devil
you
was evil. There's no evidence.
they won't. There's none. So this guy I told you about, he's a Satanist. His own is to defend Satan's honor according to their pagan whatever.
Uh,
So and I don't want to be offensive to tell him that, look, this your Satan does not exist. But I think he
uh,
prefers atheists. I think he prefers atheists to Christians, because he
than
said
Christians, yes.
Christians have always painted Satan to be bad, and in reality, Satan didn't even do all of these things that he said. I think maybe somehow he also knows that Satan isn't real, but he's a fan of all these ancient
Uh,
pagan stuff. So he
okay,
then
okay, those
worship. He
mythology,
has
yeah, yeah,
statues.
yeah, I see.
Yes,
Hmm.
he has statues of all these things in his house. And I'm like, this
Okay,
is creepy. But then he's
yeah.
not telling us that we will be born in hell. Even why does
Hmm.
Satan have to punish us for not believing in God?
Hmm.
Does it make sense?
Exactly,
Does it
exactly.
make sense?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. So if
Uh,
he's the enemy of God, he should be happy. He should be happy that people are not believing in God. And when we come to hell, he would prepare us dinner.
People who dance with Michael Jackson in hell, I
I'm
can
telling
imagine.
you, all these
Oh yeah, yeah,
celebrities.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what
Okay. So
there's
I asked you
nothing
these questions.
about.
I asked you this question because people think that if you're an atheist, you automatically believe in Satan. You're into some kind of funny ritual. That's
Well,
what
that's
most.
their ignorance. That's their ignorance talking. I don't have to believe in anything. I've asked. My mom told me the same thing when she asked when I kept trying to educate her, and she was like, "Okay, what do we now believe in?" I said, "See, must you believe in anything? It's just
Mhm.
like you replacing one slave master with another. It makes no sense. Can't you just be your own person? You don't
Mhm.
have to. If you don't believe in one thing, why must you believe in another?"
So you now,
Like
how
I
do
said,
you
Satan
live?
worshippers now would they start hating me because I said Satan does not exist?
No, how do you
Imagine
live?
how
When
do
you're
I live?
sad, when you're sad, weak, and vulnerable, who do you pray to? How do you
I
console
don't have to.
yourself? What is?
I, I don't have to pray to anyone. I just have to face the harsh realities of life. Like I know that this is just it. I can. It's up to me to make myself happy or to
Hmm.
keep on the being sad. Because even if you are praying, you are talking to yourself. If we are being real, if you are praying,
Yes, because
nobody is listening.
do you
You
know?
just think that
Do you
somebody
know
is
what?
listening. So
Do
you're
you know
talking
why?
to yourself. So if you,
Yes, do you know why I asked you this question?
mm,
Because I there was a time I was writing aggressive. I was a radical atheist. I was writing aggressive article about anti-religious article and other stuff. Then I discovered that there are some people that are not emotionally mature enough to leave the comfort of religion. That there are several reasons. I will give you several reasons why people are religious today. 7 reasons. Number one, people who lack, they see God as a provider.
mm.
There are
To
people
me,
who
I
have
just see them as
insecurity.
irresponsible people. I'm sorry. In general,
Yeah,
they're just irresponsible. They don't want to be responsible for anything. They just want to always, if
exactly.
they do
They are
good,
putting their
God. If they do bad,
responsibility.
it's
They
Satan.
are putting their responsibility on
Yeah.
God. I will give you an example of another lady. Her name is Esther. She's always
Mm.
saying, Daddy God, Daddy Geo, Daddy God, Daddy God. Then I was watching her carefully. Then I discovered there is a vacuum actually. This is an individual who lost all her parents and all those things. So she now psychologically, get refuge, find a refuge in, thinking that there's this God in the sky that is watching after her, that care about her, that all these things. So these people who are following this
That's why
God,
most of them.
they are doing religion. Yes, it's a vacuum they are trying to fill up. They are trying to fill a vacuum,
Yeah, they are trying to
certain
fill up a vacuum.
insecurities.
Yeah. That's why I
Yes,
said they are just weak. They are weak or they are cowards because I don't see why. Was he Tai Sholare, this Nigerian atheist guy? He said he
yeah.
sees religious people like it's just like a drunken person. It's just like a drunken person talking to a pole, like they're just shouting and talking to the pole. That's the way
Yes,
I see it.
and
They
hoping
just
that the
always
poll is
want
hearing.
something to hold on to, but then what? So in
No, they are talking
reality,
to a
you
poll.
just need to be
Mm,
able to be strong for yourself. So if you cannot, it can't always. These things are not real. So
yes.
at some point, people would wake up. So if you rely solely on it, and you find out that it's not real, you'll be broken. Everyone wants a figure to watch over them, but that's
Mm,
not just how that's not just how the world works. If there was really someone watching over us or interfering in our affairs, the world would not be the way it is today. Even like
mm,
someone said, yes, if there was a God, I would acknowledge the existence of a God, but I
mm.
personally, I will not worship it, except
Can
maybe
I
it
ask you a
comes and
question?
says it has been
Can I ask you a
what?
question? What if
Except me,
what what if we
yes.
actually living in hell? What if we actually living in hell right now? The Christian hell, this earth. What observing the situation in this world now, right now, the
Well, what
famine,
like I
the
said.
earthquakes, the diseases and
Yeah,
everything. What if
yes.
this is hell actually?
Well, me, I don't. The hell, what gave us the concept of hell in the first place is where you have to,
Yeah.
what we have to look at. So the concept didn't
Uh,
even come from anything that has to do with reality. So we are living in a real world. Hell, as far as I'm
mm,
concerned, is just. fairy tales.
A fictional
So
place.
that version of hell, yeah, yeah. Well, we might be people suffering and living their own hell on earth. So we
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
go by that.
People that are
Yeah,
enjoying
people
me,
alone.
me,
Right.
I tell people simply, I say, if you are enjoying, if you are happy, if you have peace of mind, you are in heaven, no. But if you
They're
are
in heaven,
suffering, you are
no.
poor, you are broke, you are
Their
sick, that is hellfire for you.
Yeah, their pastors are living their heaven on earth, despite the fact that the Bible says that the rich will not make heaven. Yet these pastors
Uh,
are rich, and they keep telling them that they need to make heaven. How is that even possible? They said it would be easier for a needle to pass through, for a camel to pass through a needle's eye than for a rich man to make heaven. Yet Christians
uh,
pray for riches. How?
uh, so what will you
It
say
makes
now?
no
What would you
sense.
like to say? Because what would you like to say? Because I think there are questions that I didn't ask you, or there are things that I missed. But what will you say personally to the people that are listening to us now?
Mm. Like what I would like to say, I don't understand.
Yeah, in general, what will you say to people that are listening to us? Because one thing, whenever I speak to you, I see someone who is researched, someone
There's just
says
a
you want
lot.
to be committed.
There's just a lot to get into when dealing with or when talking about religion. There's a lot to get into. I don't know it all, like I said, but most of the historical, I'm more of a history person when it comes to religion. Most of the
Okay.
historical aspects, yeah. So what I'll just tell people, especially those that are doubting, just doubt everything until proven otherwise. Don't
Mm.
have this habit of always doubting. They can call you doubting Thomas or whatever it is they like to say. Let them call you until you have been proven. Even in the Bible, this God revealed himself to people like physically. Most of all these stories they tell us in the Bible all happened physically. So why is it now in this modern world everything has to be spiritual? Manna from heaven dropped and fed
Mhm.
people, but they have hungry kids dying till this day.
Uh,
Why can't this
Now,
same manna?
none of those things happen now.
None of those things happen now. Why is that so? Or you say because humans are falling short from his grace. But then why do you keep celebrating Easter that he has forgiven you, he has risen and all of that? So if we still have this grace in us, then those manna and all those things that used to happen in the Bible should still be happening. People should be able to call down fire from heaven and all of those things. It shouldn't be a spiritual battle. There was no spiritual battle in the Bible. It was all physical. So we cannot be telling you that your pastors cannot be telling you about something he claimed happened in reality and be telling you you have spiritual
Can you see
problem.
the
No.
comment? Can you see the comment?
Uh somebody says he wants to be a Nigerian pastor. A Nigerian pastor. And yeah, question everything. That's what someone said. So even this Bushiri guy, is he not the same? Is he not the same guy? His daughter just died.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to say something then, but I didn't want to seem insensitive.
Insensitive, yeah. No,
He
let's just leave it. Let's just leave it at that.
he raised, no, it's not a bad thing. His daughter didn't
Okay.
do anything wrong. He
Mhm.
raised someone from the dead some time ago. You remember that story? I think he's the same guy that raised someone from the dead.
Uh,
A
yes.
South African pastor that raised someone from the dead.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
why did he not do that for his daughter
Good
that
question.
had just died? And why
Good
did a God
question.
even have to allow a child go through that all those pain? Because I think she died of some sort of cancer, a terminal illness. So imagine how she had suffered. So why would a God let a child? Because if I were a God, no child would be ill. No child would have to suffer because these
Mm.
kids are just innocent.
Yes.
So if I were a God, and he serves a God that can raise people from the dead. He can do
Mm.
this. Does it mean his daughter? He doesn't love his daughter that much to try those powers on her.
Mm.
So all of these questions, I saw it on the blog in Nigeria, and people were defending because I think someone asked similar. Someone was like, "Why did a God allow the daughter to suffer?" And comments. There were so many backlash he got from that, like, "Well, God can take any of us at any time." I'm like, no, that is a child. He didn't just take her;
Mm.
she suffered. She was in pains. So why
Mm.
give her to them in the first place? if you knew you were still going to take her and cause her pains. So like I used to tell some Christians, every time you guys come close to death, you go and give testimony, you go and do Thanksgiving and the rest. Why do you do that if you know that there's a special place for you in heaven? Because if I know that this place, there's somewhere better than earth, I will
Why
become
not just
so
go to
angry.
heaven now? Why not
Just like
just go
somebody,
there and go to
ordinary
heaven?
visa, I'll be ordinary visa. If they deny you visa to all these better countries, you will be heartbroken. So imagine me going to go and be giving testimony, I need me visa. How does that even make sense? So these people, if you escape death, you are not supposed to be giving Thanksgiving. You should be angry. You should be very, very angry with this God for saving your life, not going to go and be giving thanks and doing all of that. That's to show you that most of them are just deluding themselves. They know the truth, but they are just lying, deceiving themselves. Or maybe they don't think about it whenever they try to
What do you
whenever
think?
they just try to
Well, I want
make
you.
excuse.
I want you to comment on Christianity and colonialism in Africa. What is the relation in Africa? Because this is a very delicate topic. I will explain to you why I asked this, because people who left Christianity and are convinced that Christianity is a colonial religion, they can hardly go back to it. But people who do not know the colonial implication of the presence of Christianity in Africa, they can they can tell you that,
Well,
oh,
but I think it's quite obvious that Christianity,
okay.
because without these colonial masters, we wouldn't even know anything about Christianity in the first place. So without
Mm.
these slave masters,
I'm
colonial masters,
I'm always careful when we use the word colonial master. They were never master; they were colonialists. That's what I tell Africans. I say don't call them colonial masters.
yeah,
They are
colonialists.
colonialists.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so the fact that they brought it, and even the book itself justifies slavery. So I think that's all anyone needs to know, that it's not good for Africans. So I'm not in support of Africans, people even worshiping any form of God, because if our ancestors could save us, they could have saved us. Like if the gods of our
Exactly.
ancestors were also real, they could have also saved
Mm.
us. But if Africans are just so desperate of something to worship, why can't they just worship their own? Then we can start talking about it from there.
Start from somewhere. Yes,
We can start talking
at least
about
go
it
back
from,
to your own
exactly.
gods
Not,
and start from somewhere.
yes, not not starting. We
It's
don't even know where to
Islam.
start from, because even these people that brought it, they don't even care about it anymore. So what is our own problem
Yes.
in Africa? Because before, when I started traveling, I started seeing the way their culture is, the way these people behave and respond to religion. Even when I as in, they always saw people, most of them see people who are religious as backward. Like they just look at you like, what year are you in Africa? And I'm like,
Mm.
because with the amount of information that is available out there, you would think that anyone in this new world, regardless of their location, would at least tap into it and see. Even if you don't tap into it, there are just so many obvious flaws. It's too obvious. So sometimes I don't know if their eyes are just covered with some kind of blanket that they can't even see past it. It's very obvious. A pastor will come out and tell you something that you know that it is a lie. My pastor then, there was something he said. He was castigating those who put 15 naira or 20 naira in church basket and offering.
Wait,
So
Christ Embassy
that in my
Church.
head, I nearly walked. Yes, the branch I was attending then. So he was like, it's an insult to God for you to think you can just come and put 15 naira, 20 naira, and all of that. And in my head, I'm like, how dare you? How do you know that that's not all the person has? Is it because
Uh,
that 15 naira, when you count it, it doesn't do anything for you in your own house? That's why you're angry. Because I don't think any God would be angry about how much somebody is putting. What if that's the only amount of money the person has? So maybe the money, when the pastor gets home and they start counting 20 naira, it is to annoy him.
it doesn't make any sense.
He now started, yes, he now started projecting it and making it look like it's a God thing that people should not be doing it. I remember then my mom, you would give her money for the weekend and she would come back broke after she goes to church, after putting in a lot of money. And I told her, I said, look, I won't even be giving you money on weekends. Like or daily or weekends. I'll just start giving you your money and every month. If you like, carry it and go and give it to a pastor. But don't even call me for any other money. So maybe that's when you will start. Then she too started at some point. These Christians are very selfish people, my family included. She started seeing reason only because her money was being wasted. She stopped giving tithes and offering. She stopped going and giving tithes, but she was giving offering because tithes is much more heavier than offering. So she stopped giving tithes, and at some point she then stopped going to church because imagine she had to travel. The church was far, and I keep telling her, look, Christ Embassy has different branches. That's why they have branches, so that you can go. Why is it that this your pastor of this branch insists that you travel all the way without caring how much fuel, just because he wants that your money? So what is now the point of having other branches if you cannot use it? So then she stopped going. The pastor was then calling her, telling her that he kept a special seat for her, and the more she's emptying the seat, that the blessings on the seat will be someone else. The story was just so ridiculous. Like, blessings.
I don't be shocked.
Which blessings have you received since you started going to this church? What has it done for
you? I used to admire this Chris Oekilome. I was a member of Christ Embassy myself. I was an usher. I was an usher in the church at some point, and they tried to hook me up with a lady so that we could date. My fellow usher, the pastor was like, "Hey, you guys can pray privately for the church."
Yeah.
And this lady, I was very strict. I was a very strict Christian person, So, and I used to think Chris Oekilome is smart because he has this polished English, the way he speaks with some funny on it. And I was like, this guy is brilliant. But right now, when I look back at what he's saying, when I look back at him, I just put my hand like this because he's regurgitating rubbish. Do you know Alex Jones?
What?
Do you know Alex Jones?
The man is just... I don't know if I do.
Alex Jones is there is this program they call it InfoWars. The guy is a conspiracy theorist. But do you know Minister Louis Farrakhan?
Oh, I don't listen to those people.
Their group, they removed the guy out of internet because
ridiculous.
he peddled conspiracy theories. Now the kind of conspiracy theory that guy talks about now increase like Oekilome will carry it and preach it to the church as if
he went and be drawing map up and down that COVID disease. I'm sure he's using the latest 5G phone because any Samsung now, the latest one has 5G.
Yes.
The latest one has 5G. So he cannot tell me that he has not upgraded his phone to 2021. And even his live streaming broadcast, he's using a 5G network to broadcast it. These people, I don't know why.
Exactly.
My brother is still going to that church till this day. He's one of their group youth believers love world artists, kind of. So all he does is he sends them to one African country. The first time he sent them to South Africa. So imagine someone that had never left the country before. So he thought the man was doing them a favor by putting them in a hotel. But at the end of the day, after these boys sings, performs, they hardly give them any money. And they would now say, even when they give them money, little money, maybe 50,000, 100,000, the pastors of that church, like there's one particular guy in their group, that one we still remove from my brother's money again. And I'm like, these are pastors who so who is fooling who? Because he paid your ticket. Do you know how much he must have made? Because he is really Believers Rap Nation. That's the name. If you Google Rap Nation Believers Love World, you would see my brother there. So all he does is he gives them awards. What are you going to use those awards for?
Stupid awards. Do what?
To do
and
what?
The money, they need money for their life to be changed.
If you see my brother's room, he has awards all over the place. Yet, when you send them, they are making tons of money because after they perform, they would put the songs on a general top songs of Believers Love World, and then they sell it every Sunday in church. And if
can you imagine?
They would call altar call. People would come, and because people always say that whenever my brothers they sing, they are always touched and stuff like that. People will still sow seed. They will not still give them, but they're thinking that they give them a favor by sending them to South Africa all of those. How much is South African ticket or South African visa? But people, like I said, people that haven't seen anything, when they see little thing like
Uh,
that, it makes them feel. So the last time, after like how many years of going to the church, I think the man then sent them like about 500K or so each. How many years? And I'm like, don't feel, he didn't dash you money. You worked for this
mm,
money. All the
yeah, of
years that
course
he
you
hasn't
work
been
for it.
paying you, it is your right. Don't feel like
Mm.
Pastor Chris gave you any money. This is your
Yeah,
right. So,
they
well,
work
of
for
course,
it.
he worked for it over after how many
Thank you
years?
so much. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm excited that we are collecting these words and
Yeah.
making them public, because I believe one or two people will be touched, their mind
Mm,
will change. I always believe in speaking about this topic publicly, because you don't know who we get to. There was a time I thought about the way we build in Africa. I was talking to a friend. I said, "Look, I don't like the materials we use in Africa to build,
mm.
like the current bricks that we use to construct houses in Africa and other stuff."
Yeah,
I
it's
told
so
him that
affected.
I told him that if you go to South Africa, for example, South Africa or Rwanda, you will see that these are the only two countries in Africa. They are using red bricks to construct
Red
their
bricks,
houses.
yeah.
And red bricks, when the weather is hot outside, your house is cold inside. You don't
Cool
even need AC in
inside.
your house.
That's true.
And with the painting, we use paint in Africa to construct houses. Those painting are toxic. They give cancer. They give lung diseases when you inhale them.
Mm,
So I thought about this thing, and I said, let me make a video about it. I didn't know I could keep this idea to myself and die with it. But I just decided to make a casual video, and I posted it. The video went viral beyond my imagination.
mm,
People started writing me, contact more than 100 emails. People were writing me,
mm.
please, how can I make this? What is the price? What is
Yeah,
this? What
many
is this?
people want to know more. They just need people to point them in the right
Yes,
direction, or people to
yes.
say
So
what they have been thinking or what they cannot say. That's just
yes,
what I think.
I tell you, I was overwhelmed with messages that
Mm,
I couldn't believe it. So ever since then, I knew the importance of posting ideas online.
mm.
You can write about them, but the system which me and you are using right now, this video, what it is, will be easy for other people to watch. Those people that can come online,
Can
they
come
can just
online,
sit there and
yeah.
watch it. Other if you're lazy to read, you watch it and hear it.
And in
So
Africa, see, there's always people always give excuses. There's always limitations in Africa. Some people will come and tell you that they don't have internet data. So it's just you don't even know where to start from. But then, well, who you want
yes.
to watch ahead?
Even if they are not in Africa, wherever they are, if they are lucky to find this video, at least they will see that two people
Yeah,
are having
that's true.
conversation against Christianity, against their pastor, against their system
And it's
of
not
fake
just
system.
Christianity. It's not just
Mhm.
Christianity. It's all religions. We only
All
just have
religion.
knowledge of Christianity more because that's where we were brainwashed into. So I know friends who are also doing the Islam one, the ex-Muslims. They are tackling Islam as they go. So that's their own thing to do. But so they don't think, oh, why are you guys only against Christianity? No, we are not just against Christianity. We are against all religions, and there are like 4,200 of them. So yours is not special. We just talk about yours because, of course, that's where we were
My
raised, or
friend,
that's how we were
my
raised.
my my friend from Jamaica is like said, tell Lulu be careful. Religious folks over there seem to be very extreme over white man and Arab religion.
So,
I think we need to bring him
tell me,
into one of these
there seems
programs
to be
someday.
yeah,
Um,
I'm not in Africa at the moment, and also the places that you would think that have this, um, like in London now. I think the Muslims are taking over somehow. But me, I don't like London. I'm in Edinburgh, so I think I should be fine. So
uh,
in
you'll be
Nigeria,
fine.
yes, I know how dangerous. I know how dangerous it is in
Uh,
Nigeria, but I didn't care. If you notice, even while I was in Nigeria, I was still posting. I don't care.
yes,
And
yes,
no
yes.
one
I
will
was
just come
following
and
you then.
silence me. And as long as I know that what I'm saying is the truth. Yes, so many people
Mm,
have been to jail. So many people have been threatened several times without number. But I do not
okay.
care. And I'm only lucky because I'm an introvert. I don't go out. Probably if I was
Oh,
the kind of girl that socialized, they would have
uh,
found a way to, yes, to catch me or something. But
well, this
I do
this
not go out.
introvert
And I notice most
this
people who have
introvert he
known
fit you
about this
well.
religion, I notice most people who have known much about this religion these days are people who spend time alone. you're not carried away with going to parties, friends, and all of that. Because I think that's why most of these people cannot think. If you're an introverted person, you would be thinking most of the time alone. So if you ask most atheists now, a good percentage of them are introverts, and that's how they were able to. So
Yeah, so somebody wrote a very interesting comment here. OG Skywatch. He said, I am white, but color is meaningless. I'm an earthling. Okay, that's interesting. He said color is
yeah,
meaningless. Hmm.
color is meaningless. Seriously, we won't say we are blind. Like somebody was saying, how can you people pretend like there is no color, or how can you people pretend like uh, we are not pretending. We know that
Hmm.
humans is the human race is diverse. We
Yeah,
acknowledge that, but we are all the same.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
of
so
course,
many
of course.
people, so many atheists who hate white people. I have
Yeah,
those kind of, I don't know what their problem is, to be honest. Some have even told me, oh, your guy is white, they'll kill you one day, they will do this.
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's how they are.
no, no,
One white
no,
person
no,
was
no.
told.
It's paranoia, and it's paranoia, and I think is ignorance actually. All this
It's
new
ignorance. They
upcoming
haven't really left
woke,
their
woke,
religious mentality.
woke Africans, and then they are
No,
being
one so
colorist.
many of them.
I
Oh,
think,
there was one guy actually. He lives in London. That's you would even think that people who live abroad would have more sense. So he lives in England. And one day we're just talking, and I just told him I'm more attracted to white people. Kind of. That's just
yeah,
everyone has a right to
yeah,
prefer
your
who
preference.
people
It's
from.
your preference,
Yeah.
yes.
So you know what he said? That he's disappointed in me. I think I posted screenshots on my Facebook. He's highly
Hmm.
disappointed in me that he used to hold me in high regards before, and now I don't deserve to even be seen as queen of the way queen of Africa. I was like, wait, I never asked for any crown to begin with. I never even asked for any crown to begin with. So you can shove that crown up your ass or whatever. And he says all white people deserve to die.
No
Yeah, he said they
profanity. Be
deserve.
careful.
He said all white people deserve to die for what they did to our ancestors and blah blah blah. I told him, I said, look, I thought you were reasonable. That's even why I was friends with you. But just because I have expressed my preference and now you suddenly just hate me. Okay, why do you still live in England if you hate the white people so much? You should
Exactly.
move to somewhere in Africa. They are
Yeah,
so bad. They are so this. They are
I
so that.
told
Move away.
in my work community, I have them a lot as friends. But whenever I speak, uh, they get enraged because I told them, I said, look, superior human. There's what I call the superior human and the inferior human. The
Mm,
inferior human is that person that is limited by race, by gender, by
mm,
class, by ethnicity, by religion. Once you allow once you attach yourself to one of those identity, oh, I'm a woman.
yes,
Oh, I'm a woman. This.
exactly.
Oh, I'm black. This. Oh,
For me, I don't.
I'm
If
a
you see on my
nationalist.
profile,
I'm a nationalist, patriotic. This. Your thinking is limited. But superior humans are not limited by all these
mm,
identities. They think, in short, there was a video I made recently. I said superior. I
I,
said there's a
I
there's
personally,
yeah. Go on.
I personally don't conform to all of this rubbish. Seriously, even on my
Yes.
profile, you'd see it. I'm a non-conformist. There are so many things that
Yes.
is expected, even for women. Generally, I really don't care. Like, I don't know. My kind of person is, if you treat me bad, I will
Yeah.
respond the same way.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
are good to
You
me,
know.
then I'll be good to you. You can be an
You
alien
know
for
what
all
is
I care.
what is crazy is that this identity are very sweet. They make you feel secure. They make you feel like you belong to a group. But the moment you leave those identity, you can be able to see beyond the image. The video I made recently is this. I said human being, a man and a woman, and a man and a woman come together to form to become husband and wife. They have children. They
Mm-hmm.
now have family. Family become
Mm,
clan. Clan become a tribe. Tribe become
mm,
kingdoms. Kingdoms now become nations. Nations become countries. Countries become continent. Continent now it goes into the global stage, and beyond the global stage, you have the universe. The world is
mm.
keep expanding. Your thinking
Yeah,
must go beyond. Your thinking must go
all
beyond
of that.
ethnicity, go beyond nationality. I told someone, I say Elon Musk, for example, Elon Musk is the superior human because he will not be fight. He will not be busy fighting for land enough in one small
Look at
part of
him
it.
trying
He's thinking
to
mass.
cover the universe and stuff.
He's thinking mass. Are you are here fighting for land? A land that might probably be destroyed one day. I was watching a documentary. I was watching a documentary about the North Pole and the South Pole. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. There was a time this pole turned. This is the reason why some civilization will meet some civilization and we don't know who created them. Because there was a time that humanity was almost wiped out. You will not find the people who created some of this civilization. They are disrupted. So I say humanity is faced with a lot of danger. Pandemic, asteroid that can penetrate the earth and kills all of us.
At
And
any
you're
time.
busy fighting for religion, you're busy fighting for ethnicity, you're busy fighting for
The
you,
world is even just too small. The Earth is even one of the smallest planets. And then
yeah,
like I told somebody, the Bible story says in the beginning God created heaven and earth. He didn't mention other planets. That's because these people
yeah.
had no knowledge of these other planets.
Yeah, they
So
don't
who
know.
then
They don't
created
know.
the other planet? So if we all migrate now to another planet, which God are we
Mm,
going to worship there? Or are
exactly.
they going to
We
create
got now
another
going to
bullshit
worship there.
story? Are they going to create another bullshit story for us to worship
The
them since
stream.
they are so desperate to
Thank
worship
you,
everything?
thank you so much, Lulu. It's really, really
No
amazing
problem.
to have you around, and it's going to remain on the platform. You can find it available on African Censored.
Okay.
Immediately, I
Is it
will
on
upload the video.
Facebook? Because I sent the link to someone and she says she's not
Is
on
on
Facebook.
is on YouTube, but I will upload the video on all the Facebook platform. I
Okay.
lost my. Let me indicate.